Hello everyone, this video is not sponsored. This is the Lumibricks Future Bus set, although it did come out before the company changed its brand name. This has 605 pieces. I got it for $30 US with initial sale pricing, but the standard retail price is $40 US. So that's what I'm going to use when thinking about value. This obviously has lights. The battery box is in there right now. I'm actually not using an external power source for a change just because I wanted to keep it all nice and succinct. And this does have a transformation feature, which I will show you once I finish showing you just the standard regular bus form of it. And this is in the Cyberpunk line. I don't think they officially call it Cyberpunk, but that's what it is. So for lights, you can see you got headlights that are strangely yellow. You got an interior light there, different colored interior light back here. And nothing for the back, which is odd. Also nothing for the top. And it has just a ton of colors going on with it. Here's how it looks in a fully lit space. And in my personal opinion, the better you can see this, the more clear your view of it is, the worse it looks. Again, personal opinion. It just has a couple too many colors. Now, I really, really like the parts, and I like the colors of parts that it includes. Some of them just really felt special to me, but when you put them all together, it just doesn't work for me. Let me go ahead and show you the transformation feature that this has. It's intended to be a flying bus, you see. So you bring up these turbines, these lift fans, I guess, and they both angle out and can angle forward and back. So you can kind of get those aligned however you want. And then once it's in the air, also, you're going to have these angled down. Now they intend or suggest for you to angle the wheels and tires down. And yes, those are transparent purple wheels there, which is really cool. They intend for you to angle those down, which I guess is okay. They become like landing pads. They look like landing pads like this. But I personally like having them angled out a little bit. Just gives me a little bit of that Matrix Nebuchadnezzar kind of underground hover ship sort of look. Get them angled all about the same, something like that. Yeah, I personally like that, but this is the intent there. And then again, you can just angle the lift fans however you want. And then to actually keep it in this sort of form, they give you this stand as well, which has more transparent parts, both transparent clear and trans black or trans dark brown there. And that can just be attached wherever. I find that the weight distribution is a little bit rear biased, so I'll just move this a little bit farther towards the rear rather than towards the front. And then this will just stand like that. And honestly, I think this form looks better. I feel like it's not trying as hard this way. And yeah, it looks more like something different, something special. And my brain isn't trying to say, wait, that is a bus. Why does it look like that? Now it's a future bus. Now it's a shuttle in a cyberpunk world, or some sort of alien space kind of world. Yeah, definitely makes a lot more sense. Let me open this up and also talk about the build a bit. So you've got a couple of options. I'll go ahead and put it back into its normal form. A couple of options for minifig access. So one from the side, this is for passengers, obviously. You got the little stairs right there. You can see the deck is rather high. The battery box is not even beneath that, interestingly. It's right here. I'll show you that in just a second. But then for the driver to get in and out, this is nice, the way that it's hinged, because it doesn't just hinge out, it also slides up a bit. It's got the droid style arms used there. So this is able to get well out of its way. And this just has a centered driver position. This uses regular standard styles of seats, both for the driving position as well as for the passengers. The routing of wires around here is a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tight, especially one of these was a little bit extra tight to me. But I don't remember if it was this one or if it was this one up here. But it did work out in the end. There was enough wire and everything. And they do give you good instructions on how to route it, but it was just a little bit tricky. And then for us humans, to get inside, you can lift the center section of the roof, all of this right here, together. So there you can see the seats. You just have 5 seats inside, one kind of area light right there. Nice print back here that feels contextually appropriate. Somebody left their purse right here, so that needs to be picked up. A couple more prints there showing some TV screens. when I was building this live on stream, I was making note of the fact that we don't really see color test screens anymore like that. It's kind of a nostalgic thing. I don't really miss that. There's another print back here, and these are all UV prints, so slightly raised, small print right there as well. And then this opens up for easy access to the battery box and the on-off switch. So the on-off switch is right there. And the battery box is one that uses two large watch batteries, large pancake-style watch batteries, the 2032s, I believe it was, CR 2032s, depending upon what country you're in, they'll have different numbers, but they're very common, at least as far as I've seen. You can see some more interesting recolors, the nozzle pieces in trans orange back there. These are 1x1 bracket pieces in trans yellow. There's some trans dark blue in this, actually, just right up here for some reason. You got the yellow there again. This is light blue. You got green, obviously, green under here, green here for this bar, green here, green there, lots of trans red. This is nice. There's more trans red. There's actually hidden trans purple inside that you can't even see. More trans red up there, more trans green here, more trans red down here, some trans clear. Like, there's a lot of transparent stuff on, more trans dark blue. There's a lot of transparent stuff on here, and I like that, but it's just too many colors. They just went too crazy with it. Again, in my personal opinion, the build is fine. It's not great. This was nice that they actually have a little baggage compartment underneath here, recolor of the tool chest piece or toolbox piece into yellow, and enough space to put some more things. Honestly, the worst thing about this is that, unfortunately, the Lumibricks figures don't have any anti-studs on their behinds or on the backs of their legs. So you can sit them in the seats, but they don't want to stay. They don't want to actually be attached. So you can kind of pose it there. If I especially lean it towards one side a little bit, lean it towards the wall, like, it'll sit there, but as soon as I move this around, it's just going to fall. And that's the case for all of the spots. You can better contain the driver in here because he doesn't have a lot of room to move around. But, what about the passengers? And this one doesn't even have good headroom on this side, doesn't even have good headroom because of the light over there. So the practical considerations of using this with figures are actually really, really poor. I love these parts. I mean, look at that. This is so nice. They actually leave that hollow enough to let a good amount of light pipe through it. So you get a little bit of gemming effect from the side. And in spite of the fact that that's nice and closed up, most of this is done with molded in silver, so you can see some of the weld marks, the mold marks inside, and the flow marks, I should say, inside of the parts, which is something that happens with metallic flake when you're injection molding it. It's very difficult to avoid that in production. Oh yeah, this rail piece right here, this modified 1x8 with rail, slide rail, is, I guess I shouldn't say slide, but yeah, rail for slide doors and windows to slide, is in trans red right there. And finally, there's one single profile brick here in trans purple, a little 1x2. Yeah, look, more, another transparent piece that you don't even get to see. Nice parts. The sum of the whole, the whole is less, I'd say, than the sum of the parts. Yeah. Here's a quick look at the two included figures. I think that's supposed to be skin tone right there, and that didn't quite work out. Maybe it's not supposed to be, but I think it is. And yeah, just not really good matching on that. Some people like this style. Some people have grown used to this style, didn't used to like it, now they like it. Some people hate this style. A lot of people hate it just because it's not this style. But of course, no other company can do this style because it's fully trademarked. So any company that wants to legally put minifigures on the market has to come up with their own design. And this is what Lumibricks came up with, fully articulated, has waist articulation, individual arm and leg articulation. But yeah, it's just something different, right? At least the headgear pieces are compatible with these old things. And finally, here's a look at the leftover and extra pieces. They give you the very, very small Phillips head screwdriver for the safety screw on the battery box. This is their part separator. They do give you a USB-A adapter, so you can run this off of continuous DC. Pretty easy, and this has a decent amount of length on it. It's just going to stick out, obviously. a couple extra of their specialized parts, their unique parts for routing wires without pinching them. And then I specifically wanted to call out more of just how many really interesting transparent recolors are included here. These two pieces are the same, the black one and the trans green right here with the small little bar that sticks up from the top. Half of the hinge plate here is in clear. The regular stud on the side brick, they included some in regular clear, I believe it was also. And then you've got the headlight brick here in silver, headlight brick in trans red. This modified clip on top of a bar, clip on top of a tile piece in the trans orange. Nice stuff. Definitely some nice components. Again, this has 605 pieces and the standard retail price in the US is $40. I think this is probably the first Lumibricks set that I can completely say I don't recommend. I don't recommend specifically against it. Like, it doesn't have hidden quirks other than the fact that the figures don't really stay in their seats, which is very unfortunate, but it doesn't have like bad wire pinching issues or really flimsy construction. It didn't feel bad to put together. It's a little bit larger than I expected from the pictures. Just the overall bulk of it just keeps growing and growing and growing as you go. And it's a treasure trove of really interesting pieces, inspirational pieces. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't look good to me. And then add to that the fact that it doesn't function well, definitely hard to say you gotta buy it for something like that. I still don't hate it though. And that's mostly because, well, two things. One, value, amount of stuff that is here, I respect, but just the parts. So I will most likely use this at a minimum for inspiration in the future, and probably more likely I will take parts off of it and use them for custom things in the future because, yeah, they are just delicious, delicious parts to me. And it is a shame that they don't have any lights in the back or on the top. That's just an odd miss, an unusual miss for them. But I hope that at least my video here gave you some value, and I thank you for making it to the end of the video and hope you keep coming back if you like my style. Bye for now.